Yeah, thank you, Julie, and welcome everyone. And thank you all for taking out time and joining us today. My name is Mohit Sharma, Chair of IIRSM India Branch, and I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Mohit Rautri. He's a senior health and safety professional with extensive industry experiences in design, develop, and deliver HSC solutions. He has rich experience in the field of oil and gas and currently working with Crane Oil and Gas organizations. So with this short introduction, I will like to hand over to our speaker and thank you for everyone for joining. And I hope you will have a great time across this session. Yeah, over to you, Mr. Moiji.
Very warm evening to all. Right. First of all, I want to give my thanks to IIRSM chapter who gives me opportunity to interact with as so I am very thankful to my audience, right, to who give their valuable time for this session. So within this session, right, I will cover the basic aspects of health, safety, environment aspects in oil and gas operations, right. Uh, I hope you people will enjoy this session. And if you have any doubt and query, so you can just leave in a chat box, and accordingly, I will answer on that. So thanks to once again to all. Julie, can we proceed for that next slide, please? So, my dear friend, so if we talk about the health safety in environment, right? So it is one of the basic aspects nowadays in industry, right, which is related to man, machine, and material, right? If we see health safety management is one of the vital constitutions of oil and gas industry activities because most of the occupational conditions, like as miss, we have operations with hydrocarbons, chemicals, and other work with heavy machinery, right? It is associated with oil and gas production and well known to pose serious safety and health threats to the worker. If we see the oil and gas industry, right? So we have a lots of challenging situations. We have a very different kind of work pattern rather than other industry. And if you see the industry overview of ours, right? So basically it divided in three stream. One is upstream, the in which we are doing that seismic activity, then exploration of oil and gas possibility from inside the wells, and the production process of the that whatever we get it hydrocarbon we get it from ground. Second, we have the midstream. It is the lifeline of oil and gas, in which we deal with the transportation, storage, and marketing of that hydrocarbon we received, like as oil and gas. Within downstream, we people are dealing with refining, sales, and distribution of oil and gas to the across the globe, right? So these three are the mainstream, right? So where we are dealing with lots of activity, right, which involves a lots of hazard, which can impact the human life, environment, and equipment as well. So can you please go to next slide, please? So if we see why health, safety, environment is so important in oil and gas, right? If we see that, as I already give a brief on that, that industry involves a high risk activities, including but not limited to exploration, production, and processing of highly flammable and explosive material. It is the massive manpower we are working, right? So if we see a refinery, the refinery have on an average during construction phase, it is 8 to 10,000 manpower engaged within that. Even after built up the refinery, with thousands of people are working within that, even lakhs of people, right? If you see within India, we have a Jamnagar refinery which have a capacity of more than a lakh, 1 million people within their premises. They are working within a day. So massive manpower, heavily complicated and expensive machinery, because we are exploring that. natural hydrocarbon from underground. So we are using the expensive machinery with extensive supporting system and that high level of investment. It could be 1 billion USD and payback period as well could be up to 10 years as well. It is strategic and the vital industry. It is remote and the harsh environment. So basically, we get the hydrocarbon from the area. It is like as a barren land at the sea, right, where there is a very less possibility of human life. In the most of the oil field we found where human life is struggling to survive. Like if you see within Middle East, we have that deserts which have a high temperature. If we talk about the Canada, right, they are working within the minus degree temperatures. Right, within India, we have a different circumstances within onshore and offshore, where people are challenging to get hydrocarbon from underground. Another, if the point which if we see the accident, the consequence can be catastrophic in terms of number of casualties, environment pollution, loss of investment, and reputation damage as well. Right. So that Miss, I will discuss in next slide. So now imagine you were in the following event. And next slide, please. So I hope you heard about that Piper Alpha platform uh, incident, right? Which was operated by Occidental Petroleum. Like as in India, we have ONGC, so they have Occidental Petroleum. It is the North Sea, right? So there was an explosion on 1988. It kills 167 men and only 61 is saved from them. Total insured loss was about USD 3.4 billion, as you can see. Still hold the world record as the worst offshore oil disaster in terms of loss of life, right? So Piper Alpha, one of the biggest platform. So near about they have a wells and all, right? So there was a catastrophic explosion happened due to uh, you know health that safety incident within the rig, right? So as we see, it was lost the life of 167 people, and for that Occidental Petroleum have paid a very heavy duty to government at UK, right? So if we see, there is a very less chance to escape, right? So as an proactive approach, we are using different safety measures as a proactive approach to prevent any health, safety, and environment incident. The next slide, please. Right. So if you see within the BP Macandol, that Deepwater Horizon, it was another disaster, right, which was happened right in 20 April 2010, and I hope many of them you had seen the movie Deepwater Horizon, right? I requested to all please go through it. You will get a lots of ideas, what is the oil and gas industry and how people are working there, what is the culture, right, and how much safety they are taking it, and what is the preventive we need to take it, right? So this is a very perfect, that movie is a very perfect and beautiful example to understand oil and gas hazard, right? So within that, uh, it was operated by BP. It was an explosion in one of the very advanced rig at that time, that Deepwater Horizon. It was a semi-submersible rig, and 11 people lost and never found it, right? So what was the main root cause? The oil keep flowing from that well for 87 days, right, after that disaster, right, and kept at 15 July 2010. You can see that accident was happening 20 April 2010, and the well was kept on 15 July 2010. So it was estimated 4.9 million barrels total just Gulf of Mexico, right? It make a huge impact in
I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical issues. The speaker has temporarily lost his sound. If you could just bear with us, hopefully he will be reconnected
Hello?
soon. Oh, hello, you're back now.
Yep. Hello.
Yeah.
Yep. So basically, so if you see, there was, the 87 days the well was not controlled into, it was kept again, and it was total 4.9 million barrel after discharge to Gulf of Mexico. It still hold the world record as the largest accidental marine oil spill, right? If you can see, right, how much we impacted the environment, right, where we are living, right? So it impact a lot to sea life, it impact that persons and the equipment as well. It was one of the most biggest disaster, and still we are taking a lesson learned from such kind of incidents. And if if you most of the people are from India, I hope you people are aware about there was a blowout in 2020 in Bhagzangarh field in Assam, right? So there, the Oil India had taken around 4 to 5 months to control that well, right? So there was the same situation, right? So it was, continuous flowing back, and it impacts a lot sea life and human life as well, right? So next slide, please. So if we see what kind of hazard we have, right? So basically, we started our day, to drive the car and all, right? So the motor vehicle incident is one of the leading hazard, a part of our core job. Said the contact injury with equipment, the slip trip fall due to congested workplace and due to the environment, and the fire and explosion because people are working in hydrocarbon areas. So there is a chances of, the presence of hydrocarbon and highly flammable gas, right? So it is, if we see the one of the reason, right? If we seen the recently death of Cyrus Mistry, who was the head of that Tata. So it was that fatigue due to the long driving distance and long working shift hours. Often the roads leading to the well sites lack firm soldiers and other safety features, right? What workers be entangled within that equipments, right? If you see the slippery fall, I already told about in that due to congested workplace and uneven surface and improper use of non-availability of fall protection device, like especially we are working within high-tech equipment, and also there people have to follow that good fall protection system which ensure the safety of person, and presence of highly combustible hydrocarbons and presence of oxygen oblique ignition sources. So these are the probable cause of health safety hazard within oil and gas. Next slide, please. Right. So within upstream, right, I was talking about that seismic survey and evolution is the main activity. We are using exploration and drilling, development and production, and commissioning and decommissioning of the equipment, especially in midstream. So what is the issue, right, we face there, right? So it is the pathetic microorganism, right, due to usage of different kind of chemical infection transmitting vectors, that the drilling mud. So basically it is all about chemicals and hydrocarbon and mixture of gases, petroleum products. The radioactive sources we are using a lot, right? For that X-ray of well, right? We are taking the X-ray of well, right? Where we said it logging within the chemical and adhesives, the extreme temperatures, the noise and vibration, the mechanical and ergonomical hazard, that kind of energy hazard we have present there. The possible health effect due to that infectious and parasitic diseases like as hepatitis A, typhoid fever, and cumulative trauma disorders, right? So cumulative trauma disorders is a very frequent thing we have seen within oil and gas worker who have a long exposure to work with industry and with such kind of machine. The chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases cause of chemicals and all, spinal disorders and neoplasm and cancers, heat stroke cause of extreme, that conditions within Middle East, within desert, and even in offshore. High, high stress, that sleep defects, because we are working in a long hour shift, right? So that on an average shift is, means it takes beyond 12 to 14 hours, right? So it is sleep defects as well, right? So the possible health effect and noise induced hearing loss within heavy machinery. People are continuously working within that due to lack of knowledge and due to presence of mind. People are not using ear muff and all, and they might meet between that noise induced hearing loss and drug and alcohol abuse. These are the possible health effect which happen in that upstream segment. Next slide, please. So within midstream, we have that pipeline work, within the transport and storage of crude and gas and marketing. So within that, petroleum products is the agent dust from filling and clearing clearing of pipes and tanks. So it is the possible health hazard is demand and eye issues, pulmonary disorders, and gastrointestinal disorders, right? And within downstream, we have product refining, petrochemical sales and distributions. So it is the same kind of hazard, right? Where we are petroleum products and the treatment chemicals. It is that high toxic chemical we are using for that process and all, and that metals we are using like a PB, CAD, amine, etc. That silica, asbestos, especially in that it raises the toxicity of chemical and the noise and vibration hazard. So these are the key hazards, right, where people lose their health. Next slide, please. So how we are managing that occupational health, safety, and risk, right? So for that, if you see, there is a PDCA cycle. We said it. It is plan, do, check, and act, right? So within plan, what we do, it is a strategic HSC roadmap, right? We have make a roadmap. Okay, for this year we will do XYZ things. That workflows we make objective and targets, right? And the key priorities, right? Okay, in last year we were lagging in support that chemical hazard and in mechanical hazard. Okay, this year we will focus on, and our key priority is focus on to reduce chemical hazard incidents and all. We didn't do on ground level. We are doing risk and injury management, health and illness management, right? How we will deal with such kind of challenges, training and assessment, right? The competency of people and the proper assessment, right? And the person, involvement of person, right? So we assured within that, and the regulatory compliance. So basically the government body and authorities, they have make a regulatory compliance to ensure the safety in mass. Okay, so within the check section, what we do, so we monitoring, right? Whatever the program we are running, either it is working or not, right? So the modeling we are doing it, right? So that particular model, right, that is a proper work it out or not, or either we need to change something within that. The trends, like as okay, we are getting a trend that our program is going okay, or either we need improvement, or either it is not working properly. The performance indicator, right, this is a very important thing, right? As within that, right, we find out where we are lagging and where we are leading in terms of is supported a work at height compliance, right? Either within that, either we are lagging and leading, right? We get it from the data. As you all know, data is a very important thing nowadays in every industry, and we are also use data to check all these stats. And yes, the audits. So we have set of audits as per our different kind of operation which ensure the safety is following properly, right? So we have multiple checks, audits, which ensure to the safety of man, machine, and material. And the act within many things, right, where we are doing changes, we are implementing new things. That management review is a very important part, and for that we have set dedicated of teams of subject matter expert and the management representative who is reviewing the requirement, and accordingly they are providing and actions for their continuous improvement. So basically this industry is based on, even every industry is based on the continuous small improvement. We are following the same strategy in oil and gas, where we are doing continuous improvement to make safe our workplace. So this is the basic of PDCA cycle. Next slide, please. Right. So within, if we see that generally risk management process in the oil and gas industry involves the following key, right? If we see the first thing, the risk identification, right? First of all, within this factor, right? So these are the very basic key element where we found what is the possible health and safety hazard within the workplace. Thorough work area inspections as per the data of previous incident, accident, and ill health record, right? So within that, we identify, right, what kind of job we have and what kind of risk within involved in that. The second step, if we evaluate the risk arising from the each identified hazard, we noted down it, we listed down, and identify the existing precautionary measures, right? What we are done in past to save this, and what we required new to prevent any uh, kind of hazard. So determine what kind of injury or ill health might occur and rank the risk on the basis of the severity. So within that, we have that risk management system. We rank our risk as per the basis of their severity. So this is the one of the beautiful system and set scientific method where we see the step by step hazards. We noted down within that, and accordingly we are doing that risk assessment of our business activities. So within risk recording, we are finding the risk assessment for define the control measures, the control measures within that, through our audits, inspections, internal review, and through the regulatory audit for that purposes as well. So within that, the risk control is the another key factor where we define and implement preventive measures to eliminate or minimize the risk of an incident and accidents. And after that, we follow on the assessment, keep continuous follow on the assessment of health safety aspects of oil and gas, right? So within the last stage is monitor and review. So for that, there are regular review and updates of that risk assessment. They ensure that implemented control measures are being used, are very effective, and this is the efficiency of preventive and control measures, right? So basically, this is the management review and commitment, right? So every company's management, they are showing, right? Yes. This is the minimum we are giving to our employee and to make safe them, right? And it is a commitment of management, right? Through these monitor and review, they are providing to that industry back. Next slide, please. So the another standard is used in oil and gas, the skill-based safety program. And next slide, please. So behavioral based shift. So basically, behavioral based shift program is a program where, right, people get changes from their inside. The most of the industry accident is happened due to that personal mistakes, right? So due to the wrong attitude of the persons and due to not right perception about the job, right? So it is basically, as it is mentioned here, behavior is often the final step in an injury sequence. Within behavioral, what people were doing, their physical action at the time of injury, it means a lot, right? So within that, uh, we have see how people are follow the set of standards, implemented and communicated by management, right, to implement it on field or on ground level, right? So it is the people, right, either they are easily accepted that culture, right, either they are able to perform it or either they have a very casual approach towards their job, right? So this is the one of the key change, right, which make industry safe and unsafe. Next slide, please. So it is, I just, means, discussed, right? It is a perceptions, right, where people have a, different mindset of people are, working and they have a kind of perception of risk and reward, right? We have different thought, right? Before performing a job, right? Will it be a easier? Will I get hurt? Will anyone notice, right? So that is a very important key factor, right? Okay, most of the work, we are doing in peer pressure or either, forcefully implemented by bosses, right? So will I get finished sooner? Will I get in trouble? Right? So people often act according to their perception of the risk and reward for their behavioral, not necessarily according to the rules and policy and procedure, right? So rather than believing in policy and procedure, we are thought about that perception of risk and reward. So this is a very important factor. If you see, it is applicable to all of us, right? Whenever we work. Next slide, please. So if we see observation based on behavioral science, so it is a very in-depth study, right? And it is a proven method to improve workplace safety. If you see that, look for previously defined specific behaviors, right, followed by implies and walker. Two-way feedback after observing soon, certain and meaningful. Use positive reinforcements like a safety first and meaningful. Discuss specify risks and behavioral, observe perception and potential consequences and collect that data. So these are the important steps of behavioral science, right? Where we need to follow, especially the two-way feedback, right? It is not one way like, okay, if I like it, if I don't like it, not like it. It's a two-way feedback, right? Where people are mutually agreed to do the things, right? The positive reinforcement, right? So whenever we have to talk in that, we have to say it about the safety first, means safety first of the man, after that machine, then material. The third one is the specific risk behavior, right? So that what is the perception of most of the public and how we can connect the unsafe act, conditions and the hazards involved in industry with their lifestyle, right? We need to collect these data. Next slide, please. So if you see, said, so this is that observation and feedback. It is based on that behavioral science and it increase the employee awareness, right? So basically the employee who is working on ground level, right, so they have aware about this process and this is a very beautiful tool, right? So even I use this one in industry. It is very useful for achieve a safety target successfully. That reinforcement of safe behavior and clarify at that risk consequences as per my job, what is the risk consequences is there and how I can mitigate it. For that, we are using these tools like a perception survey. Participation rate is must, like as you know, if suppose that we have 100 number employees, so we have to make sure that we have at least 70 to 80% of participations, so at least we can capture the most of the data from the employee, right? And majority we can take it, right? Okay, you know how people are working and how they can react on that. Clarify at risk within that, right? The contact rate, right? So how much exposure I have within industry, right? It is if it is a 10-hour shift, right? So it is 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. What is my rest hours within that? Like a part of that, there is a number of observations here we are making, right? Either I am just coming and going without any observation, right? I spend my day and I am neglecting, right? What means either any unsafe behavior and unsafe observation which can lead to an incident and accident in future. The quality indicators change in percentage of safe. It is very important, right? How we can check this parameter, right? Earlier, like last year, we had 10 road safety incident, right? If we reduce and come up to 5, right? So we reduce 50% of that road safety incident. The industry are working in such kind of stats and data, and accordingly we are set our target, right? Whatever we achieved our best, so we are going for better. So number of improvement and number of action plans we have taken on ground zero. Next slide, please. So within this slide, if you see a behavior-based safety process does more than a increase work site awareness, right? Many time it happens, right? As a manager, I have a very good idea and a thought process to a workplace safety, right? Like as we are discussing here, right? Okay, miss, we are discussing a lots of good thing here where we are using uh, a good techniques, we are talking a lot of good things, but what is the important thing is the work site awareness, how much I had delivered at ground zero, right? This is the important thing, right? If you see this train, so this have a many thingies, right? So if you see system, culture, social and ability, reward recognition, procedures, trainings, tools, equipment, worksite behavior, right? If you see from this model, then you are easily able to understand the importance of behavioral-based safety program. So in STEM 3, where system culture, skill, ability, supervision, right? It falls under actions from data, right? Whatever the actions we are getting from that previous year data and previous incident data, and that observations and feedback we taken from that worksite behavior, right? And the training we had done and what is the impact of that training, right? So these are the very important perspectives, and it will be very helpful, right? If we you would be the part of this industry or either any industry. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So within the behavioral based program process implementation, right? So these are the mandatory steps where we discuss about that management meetings within that, right? That leader, senior management and support staff, right? So they all are discussed about their day-to-day activity, their plans, right? The second is appoint the steering committee, right? Within that, that facilitator, the management sponsor, and the team operations support. So they will be the part of it, right? And who are work as a mid-level management within that. Within the process design, we see that observation steps, that data management, we are using the defined performance criteria, and within the next step, we say that train steering team. Within that, we check the all process, like at the process of our fundamental, we have to develop the checklist, standard observation of that training. We are giving it that feedbacks, approve that process design, which is useful to follow and implement the safety communication plan and path forward things. Next slide, please. Right. So this is the cultural ladder, right? If you are working within the industry, or either you will be the part of industry, right? So this is a very important ladder where you will go and you will check, right, where is your organization stands and what kind of improvement they need it, right? If we see, people have a tendency, right? So if we start from down, so one is pathological, right? So within that, the majority of people have a mentality, who cares as long as we are not caught, right? Means there is no rules, regulations, right? Whatever I want, I know either it's a wrong, like a drink and drive case, right? People know that it is wrong, but after that, people are doing it because they are not care about, as long as they are not caught. This is a pathological approach, which is very dangerous and a alarming sign for any industry. Second is that reactive culture, where within that industry, that safety is important. We do a lot every time, and we have an accident, right? Within casual approach, right? Yes, we do. Okay, there is something adjust name of safety, right? Okay, we talked a lot. Okay, I had done this and this, I have to do this and this, and after that, we are after that, okay, after that, we are doing a lot of things, then after that, till we are have a incident. The third one, if we see that calculative, we have a system in place to manage all hazards, right? So we have system, procedures, right? Okay, everything is available, okay, within my system, within my right. Okay, I have policy regarding my workplace. I have procedure regarding the machines, equipment we are using as per industry practice. So we have a thing that its willingness, right? How much we want to maintain and all. So it is not different from system, right? The system requires improvement. The fourth one, if you see that proactive, within that, we work on the problems that we all find, right? So whenever, within that, the people are have a proactive approach. Okay, we have a thing where people have, okay, we have problem, we have to rectify it, and after that, correct it. So it is a continuous process. So what is the difference between proactive and collaborative? In proactive, we are working on a general problem, and we are doing when it comes, and we are stuck within that, right? So from proactive to collaborative, lots of industries are struggling on that, right? Because it is a long-term process. The second, it is the continuation of that, the trained manpower available with you, right? So even changing of people frequently, it impacts an organization from being collaborative from proactive, right? So within collaborative culture, right? Means a lots of industry, right? If you heard about that, and if you see, okay, HS is how we do business around here. Yeah, it is in our blood. Like as, okay, if I am on bike, so okay, automatically I wear the helmet, either there is a police or not. I always wear seat belt once I entered in car, right? car and when we are going somewhere. So basically, if you see this cultural data, it is the encouraging the trust and oblique accountability, right? If you see from pathological to collaborative, right? So the one main thing is the number of people has increased within the system and procedures, right? So this is the main basic things, right, which you observed, and you can note it down this one, and it will definitely help you out to get things done and make easier your life in industry. Next slide, please. Right. So my dear friends, so if you see the part two incident free operations, right? So if you are from industry or either you heard about that industry, right, that cultural transformation is a very key chain and key aspect, right, where we require behavior observations, feedback, and a lots of people are continuously working to everyday safe, right? So companies have a target and tendency like safe day, right? So how many safe day they achieve, they benchmark, they focus on record, and after that that continuous and engage in bad. So, so this is a very challenging for any organization from that cultural transformation. Cultural transformation is a very challenging for every organization. It requires a lot of effort to make a safe day, right? So where implies is chose to behave safely by themselves, right? It requires resources, it requires set of procedure, it requires personal care, it requires a set standards, policies, and continuation follow up and improvement. So these are the very key aspects which is used in oil and gas operation, where people have to choose their career to set and make a standards to make safe their operation and give their contribution toward progress of any nation, right? So next please. So if you
Okay.
see
We're
these all are the aspects, yeah. So these all are the aspects which is important and very basic, right? If you had feel, right, these are the things anytime we lack, anytime we ignore it. But as a safety professional, you have to read each and every worker, right? Either it's a ground level worker.
Mohit, are you still there? We're losing your sound a little.
Uh, I hope. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah. So these are the the main agenda of this webinar, right? So I hope it has cleared to you people, right, how this industry work and what is the basic the safety aspects and measure within oil and gas industry. And the one very important thing, either it is for any industry you serve, right? So there is no important job that you have no time to do it safely. It takes pause, a break, but you have to rethink and reassign your task. So it is that that beautiful interaction with you people. So I would like to request, if you have any doubt, query, and questions regarding that, so please let me know, either through chat box or either through any other medium we have.
Yeah, here we have got one question. Have we taken up? No, we
I
have
think
one
not
question in
yet.
the chat.
So can please,
So, yeah, should I? Okay. Yeah,
please.
yes. There is a question like, what's your opinion on oil and gas hydrocarbon energy will be replaced with cleaner energy such as ASEP and wind solar energy? How to mitigate occupational health and illness in specific regards to ASEP, Sanodin? Uh, yeah,
So,
that's
okay.
ASEP.
Can you, yeah.
Yeah,
Can you please repeat question again?
yeah, sure. What's your opinion on oil and gas hydrocarbon energy will be replaced with cleaner energy such as ASEP? I don't know the full form what he has mentioned.
Mhm.
Wind and solar energy.
Okay, as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, I will answer it. I will answer it, Mohitji. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
okay.
So if we see, right, so the renewable energy sources, right? So these are the helping hand for us, right? But if we see the majority of that our population, because we have, even till now, we 90% we are dependent on that hydrocarbons to fulfill our energy for, and whatever the products we are getting from underground, right? So these are our helping hand, right? So it will not replace ASAP. Yes, it will take a lot of time, and might be that both system will go parallel, right? So because I'm telling the reason behind of that. So day by day, our energy consumption and needs are increasing, right? So because miss, lots of revolution, industry revolution, lots of things we are using, right? So even you can easily understand from your that energy consumption within your home we are doing it, right? So either 5 year back, what were the applications you were using, and right now it is increased. So basically, this both system will go parallelly, and that renewable energy sources will work as a supporting hand to that hydrocarbon industry. Yeah, next question, please.
Yeah. Next question is, which safety course is best to work in oil and gas industry? If you would like to, this is just a general one, not related to
Okay,
topic, but yeah.
okay, no, okay. I will answer it. I will answer. So
Yeah.
basically, okay, within oil and gas, so NIBOS is International Examination Board of Occupational Health and Safety, right? So it is an international body and accepted in almost countries, right? More than 150 countries. So they have a course in NIBOS in oil and gas. So it is a certification course. It is not a degree and diploma, right? So basically, it is a certification course, right? So you can enroll within that, and after that, miss, you can pursue your career within oil and gas safety. But more than that, right? More than courses and this, right? So for working in oil and gas, you need to be passionate, right? About whatever, you have to be an idea about that industry, that more than giving how much it can take, that you have to be aware about that, like it is a kind of a soldier kind of a job, right? If you are willing to do it, so then after that, you have to be think about on that, because many times you are working in a barren land, many times you are working in an offshore where you are not able to see the land for months, right? In a very extreme situation where you have to face it more than 54 degree temperature, 58, even up to 60-degree temperature, even working in a minus temperature, right? And that family conditions, and also basically, in most of the places you have to work alone and all. So you have to think all these perspectives before you have entered in oil and gas industry, in any job and any profile. Yeah. Any other questions, sir?
Great. Yeah. One more. As per your own experience, what is the main cause of disaster in oil and gas?
Yes, a very good question. Thanks. So basically, it is right. Means the cultural radar we had seen, na. So the pathological, pathetic conditions, right? Means the attitude of the people, right? The attitude of the people is a main disaster, right? It is the main disaster to be to major oil and gas incident, right? Where people, they are overconfident, they are not much worried about, about the condition of their equipment, right? About that the practices we have very reactive approach towards their system procedures, right? Where we are, why incidents happen, why we are bypassing the things, why we are not following the procedures, we meet with incident, accident, and the continuation, uh, the negligence within that failure of our equipment and failure of that environment, right? Where we are not able to take care of it, that make a disaster of any oil and gas incident or either any incident.
Okay, great, great. One more last question.
uh,
Yeah. How latest
Please.
digitalization, AI, artificial intelligence can help to reduce the workplace accident committed by human error?
Yes, right. So basically, the artificial intelligence is the future. Within the industry, we find technology every time have a lot to make human life better, right? If we are using in a positive way, if we are using in a right way, that help a lot, right? So artificial intelligence, right? So first of all, it help, especially that monitoring of the gas processing unit, where putting a man should be a risky. Earlier it was like that, but due to artificial intelligence, okay, miss, we have that sensor system, and where miss, we are getting data within our cabins, right, through the technology, and where we are manage our operations through drone, right, like especially monitoring the plant and all, right? There is very close, you know we are on near about to that chemical process area or either hydrocarbon process area, right? If you see, even drones are very helpful, uh, that artificial technology, and slightly, people are moving towards the robotics, their technology, where they are used robot for extremely hazardous area, right? Where there is high toxicity and there is a kind of high flammability, right? So the industry, they are designing kind of robots, right, where they are be useful, and kind of lots of that artificial intelligence technology, which reduce the load on man, especially in terms of their life. So it is a very wonderful tool, the artificial intelligence, the technology. Always about that oil and gas industry to make their operation safe.
Right, rightly said. And
Yes.
yeah, yeah, there is no more question. And yes, like yeah, the presentation was very like wonderful and great insights we all have received. I hope everyone would have enjoyed this session. And definitely all the users, attendants, participants, if you have any doubt, you can reach out to us. You can drop the emails, and definitely we'll get back to you. So with this, like Julie, are you there? If you want to say anything, concluding notes, or we can wind up.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you both today and to also let everyone know that your CPD certificates will be coming out this time tomorrow. So I'd like to
Yeah.
wish everyone a good evening and we'll hope to see you at the next webinar.
Thank you, Mr. Mohit, and thanks for your
Okay.
time
So
and
about order, so
for
if
such a wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,